What deductions can I take for my business? That's the number one question that real estate agents and self-employed taxpayers ask their tax preparers. Are you 100% confident that you're getting every legal deduction, credit, loophole available to you when you get your taxes done? Are you sending more money to the IRS than you should? Do you want to keep more in your pocket and share less with Uncle Sam? In this video, I will share with you the top 50 deductions available to real estate agents and other self-employed taxpayers. I'm Jim Flouse, enrolled agent, tax coach. I am licensed by the IRS to practice in all 50 states, and I work with self-employed taxpayers from coast to coast. You know, what's deductible and what's not really isn't a matter of mystery or opinion. It all comes down to what's in the Internal Revenue Code. I've prepared thousands of returns for agents and other self-employed taxpayers over the years. So what I'm going to share with you here isn't conjecture or street myth or based on what another agent is doing or someone told you works for them. It's what's in the IRS code. So let's get started from A to Z. Accounting and bookkeeping. Anything that you pay to a tax preparer or a bookkeeper or a payroll processing company during the year. Advertising, and this is a big one. Anything you spend related to newspaper advertising, Facebook advertising, fees you're paying to Trulia, Hootsuite, web design, domain fees, auto expense. Here's another huge one, and I could spend a whole video, in fact I will, talking about whether you should claim actual expenses that you incur or take the mileage rate. Please keep a good mileage log either way. Bank service fees. If you have a business bank account, the monthly fees you might pay to your bank are deductible. Even the non-sufficient fund fees. Also business licenses and permits. Any fees you pay to your city for a business license or your state licensing board. Cell phone. You use it all the time. Probably 80% is used for business. Your business use percentage is the key here. Coaching and consulting fees. Any fees you pay to a real estate coach to improve your performance. Convention fees. Do you have a company convention? The ticket into the convention, whether it's a national or regional event, is deductible. D stands for depreciation. Now, depreciation is one of those accounting words that a lot of people don't fully understand. Basically, it's just how you can write off fixed assets and bigger equipment over time. Talk about dues and memberships. You are paying dues probably to your local multiple listing service. Also, if you're a member of your local or state realtors association, you've got association dues. You may also be part of a networking group like B&I, education and training. Continuing education is deductible. Take it. Equipment rental. Do you rent or lease office equipment or a computer? It's deductible. Fees to your broker. Most agents pay some small fees to their broker on an ongoing basis. Desk fees, technology fees, copy fees, a fee to cover part of the business license for the broker. These are the things that typically are deducted from your gross commission, and they can add up to $200 to even $2,000 over a year's time, depending on how much volume you're doing. What about fines and penalties? Well, unfortunately, anytime you pay a fine or a penalty for a speeding ticket, a traffic ticket, a late filing fee on a tax form, anything that the government fines you or penalizes you for is not a deductible business expense. In some cities, you are subject to franchise tax. Pay it and deduct it on your tax return. Let's move on to G. G is gift expense. Now, gift expense is a bit tricky because there is a limit to how much the IRS will allow. They will allow $25. I know it doesn't appear to be reasonable in a day and age when you might be giving someone a $100 or $200 gift basket in thanks for them purchasing a home or being a client. But IRS rules are what they are, and there are some workarounds. For example, why not give cutlery? Engrave your name or your company name on the cutlery, and you can give that deducted under advertising, and there is no $25 limit. Here's another one. If you wanted to give a gift to someone, what about cleaning service before move-in or after move-out? That cleaning service you can deduct as a subcontractor expense, and there is no limit. So there are ways to get around the $25 gift limit. Don't forget though, little cards, $5, $10, $25 gift cards to Starbucks or other restaurants, those certainly are deductible under gift expense, and those small gifts can go a long way to generate more business and, of course, to maximize your deductions. Now, the letter I brings 4 different expense categories. First would be independent contractor. Have you hired a repairman during the year? Did someone do some graphic design work for you? Or some cleaning service, as we just mentioned? These are all deductible under subcontractor or independent contractor expense. Internet is another one. Do you use internet at home? How much of that use is business use? So for example, if you're paying $60, $70, $80 a month for high-speed internet at home and you're using the home internet for at least 50% business use, don't forget to deduct it on your tax return. Another one would be interest. A lot of people don't think about this, but if you incur some expenses on a personal or a business credit card, the interest that you can pay on that card for the business expenses is deductible. Insurance, I'm referring to errors and omissions insurance. Make sure you deduct that on your tax return. It's a few $100s, but it'll save you some money when it comes to tax time. J stands for janitorial expense. Do you have an office that needs cleaning from time to time? You can deduct it as janitorial expense. That's one you don't want to miss. Here's one you do want to miss: laundry and dry cleaning. Unfortunately, the IRS considers dry cleaning of your garments to be personal expense and not business. I really wish it was deductible. I've spent a lot of money over the years on dry cleaning for suits and ties and dress shirts, and I wish it was deductible. Unfortunately, IRS rules do not permit the deduction of laundry and dry cleaning expense as a business expense. So let's move on to something that is legal and professional fees. If you pay an attorney in conjunction with your business, then it's deductible as a business expense. Now, I'm not talking about a divorce attorney or some other legal work for personal use. Meals and entertainment. This is a big one. A lot of people miss out on this because either they don't want to incur an audit and they're afraid that they can deduct too much, or they just have lousy record keeping, and because their record keeping has holes in it, they don't really capture meals and entertainment. What does the IRS code say? It says that you can deduct the cost of meals or entertainment anytime there's a bona fide business discussion with a client, a prospect, a business associate, and so on. So here's my question to you. When do you ever meet with a client, a prospect, or a business associate, whether it's over coffee or lunch or dinner, and not discuss real estate? You're always having a bona fide business discussion. You're always asking people, are you in the market for a new property? Do you know anybody who's looking to sell? So any of these conversations should be able to be deducted if you have a bona fide conversation and you document it. How do you document it? Just keep the receipt. The receipt already has the date and the place and the amount. You simply need to add to the receipt who you met with and what the nature of the conversation was. So, John Smith, listing prospect. Write that on the Starbucks receipt, and you should always be able to deduct at least 50% of the cost of your vanilla lattes. Meeting expense. Now this one is 100% deductible if the public is invited. So if you have a special holiday event, a summer pool party, special open houses that everybody's invited, the public can attend, in other words, your clients can bring any guests they'd like, it's deductible 100%. Don't miss that one. Do miss the next one, however. Miscellaneous expense. So often agents will give me a dollar total for the year on what they spent on miscellaneous. Well, this is like waving a red flag to the IRS and telling them your record keeping has holes in it. Never deduct miscellaneous expense. Find a way to put it under one of the other 49 categories that we're giving you here in this video. Office supplies. This can refer to staplers, paper clips, desk accessories, and more. Office equipment. If you've bought a new computer, a new laptop, even a new phone, this is office equipment that is deductible. Many times you can deduct the whole expense during the first year, or if it's a significant expense, you can spread it out over time and depreciate it over 5 to 7 years, as I explained earlier. Parking and tolls. Even if you take the standard mileage rate, you're also allowed to deduct over and above the mileage rate anything you spend on parking and tolls. Property tax that you might pay on your business equipment is deductible. Postage is deductible, any postage or shipping. Printing is deductible. Anything you might print up, you can deduct as printing, or you might classify it under advertising. Just make sure it gets on your return. Professional image. Make sure that doesn't get on your return. I'm amazed at the number of agents who want to deduct their hair, their makeup, their nails. Look, I know you need to maintain an attractive and professional image. Again, however, the IRS considers the costs of imaging, whether it be your nails, your hair, or as I mentioned earlier, dry cleaning and laundry. Those are all what the IRS considers personal expenses. So you cannot deduct those on your business tax return. Again, I wish you could. I spend a lot of money on hair care, but you cannot deduct it. Recruiting expense. If you pay at a job fair or incur other costs to recruit agents or team members, those are deductible. Rent. If you rent space at an office or rent storage space for your signs, to the extent that you use that storage space for your business, it's deductible. Repairs and maintenance. Repairs can be as simple as a repair to your computer or the maintenance of your IT system, to paying a repairman to fix something at a property so that you can get a deal closed. Signs, absolutely deductible. State corporation commission fees, anything you pay to the state to keep your LLC or your S-Corp registered, those are certainly deductible. Software, are you paying for QuickBooks software or some type of CRM or customer relationship management software? Deduct those, those are write-offs. Supplies, don't forget supplies that don't necessarily fit neatly into office supplies. Example, lockbox fees. The cost of getting duplicate keys for someone. These are all supplies and materials you want to make sure you deduct. Tax preparation is pretty straightforward. It's what you pay a preparer to get your tax return filed. But did you know you also can deduct any professional fees you pay to a CPA, accountant, or tax attorney to help you do some tax planning or tax coaching? You know, proactive coaching and proactive advice actually is more beneficial than just the tax preparation, which at year end is often just reactive and a recording of history. And then finally, tax resolution. I'm referring to tax relief. If you owe the IRS for back taxes, or if you have unfiled returns, you might hire a tax attorney or an enrolled agent to help you to either set up some type of payment plan, get the late returns filed, get an offer in compromise in motion, or other remedy with the IRS. All of those types of fees, and they can be significant, are deductible on your tax return. Tools and small equipment. Now this is somewhat of a catch-all, but anytime you buy a piece of equipment under $1,000, you can classify that as a small tools expense. An iPhone might be an example, or even a drone to help to promote and advertise your properties. Travel. Travel that you incur to go to a business convention is deductible. That can include airfare, taxi, train, whatever. Utilities. Utilities at your home office could be deductible to a certain degree, but also if you have an office outside the home, anything you're paying for heat, water, and so forth is a deductible business expense. Uniforms. Well, unfortunately, uniforms are not typically something that a real estate agent can claim. The IRS will allow uniform expense if you're wearing a garment that cannot be worn in normal everyday pedestrian use. So example, a plumber might have a wetsuit. Well, that's deductible under uniform. Or you might see a handyman who wears, the blue uniform with the name and the company logo. Those types of garments, that can be deductible as a business expense. But nice custom shirts and ties, none of this is deductible as uniform expense, so to speak. So make sure you keep that off your tax return. It's like waving a red flag for an audit. Wages and salary expense. If you have employees, the wages that you pay them are certainly deductible. So are the payroll taxes, which I didn't mention earlier. What you pull out of your pocket for payroll tax is deductible. What the employee has withheld, for example, their withholdings and their Social Security and Medicare deductions are not deductible to you, but what you pull out of your pocket as the company match for Medicare and Social Security and also unemployment tax is certainly deductible. Finally, waste removal. Anything that you pay to have waste removed, whether it's just trash removal or a big dumpster, those types of things can be deductible as business expense, so make sure you capture those. So those are the 50 tax deductions that you want to make sure you don't miss. Making sure that you keep more in your pocket and send less to the IRS is a big deal. You should capture every legal deduction, every legal loophole, every legal tax credit that's available to you. We want to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, but not a penny more. I hope you find this helpful. If you do have questions, please type your questions in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And most importantly, please subscribe by clicking the button below that says subscribe. That way, you'll be up to date as we provide new videos and new tax tips. I'm Jim Flouse, Rhymes with House. If you're selling houses, please don't make the 10 big tax mistakes that agents make that cost them thousands. You can download our free Ultimate 10 Tax Hacks that rich realtors use to keep more money in their pocket and send less to the IRS. A link to that cheat sheet is in the notes below. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.